Scotland's Loch Ness Monster has been capturing imaginations for years.
The Loch Ness Monster.
The Loch Ness Monster.
The Loch Ness Monster.
Apparently talks about the secret lesbian life of the Loch Ness Monster.
What is the Loch Ness Monster? The Loch Ness Monster,
The creature!
affectionately known as Nessie, is a creature in Scottish folklore that is said to inhabit Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands. It is often described as large, long-necked, and with one or more humps protruding from the water. Popular interest and belief in the creature has varied since it was brought to worldwide attention in 1933. Evidence of its existence is anecdotal, with a number of disputed photographs and sonar readings. To this day, there are sightings of Nessie in the loch, approximately over a dozen per year. But the first alleged account of the Loch Ness Monster was in the book The Life of Saint Columba by Adamna. According to Adamna, writing about a century after the events described, Irish monk Saint Columba was staying in the land of the Picts with his companions when he encountered local residents burying a man by the river Ness. They explained that the man was swimming in the river when he was attacked by a water beast that mauled him and dragged him underwater despite their attempts to rescue him by boat. Columba sent a follower to swim across the river. The beast approached him, but Columba made a sign of the cross and said, "Go no further. Do not touch the man. Go back at once." The creature stopped as if it had been pulled back with ropes and fled, and Columba's men and the Picts gave thanks for what they perceived as a miracle. It was the 1930s that Nessie gained the most attention, after a number of sightings and articles were reported. The one that had the greatest reach was a sighting by George Spicer and his wife. In their words, they saw a most extraordinary form of animal cross the road in front of their car. They described the creature as having a large body, about 4 feet high and 25 feet long, and a long, wavy neck, slightly thicker than an elephant's trunk. They saw no limbs. It lurched across the road toward the loch 20 yards away, leaving a trail of broken undergrowth in its wake. Spicer described it as the nearest approach to a dragon or prehistoric animal that I have ever seen in my life. The surgeon's photo is reportedly the first photo of the creature's head and neck, supposedly taken by Robert Kenneth Wilson, a London gynecologist. It was published in the Daily Mail on the 21st of April, 1934. According to Wilson, he was looking at the loch when he saw the creature, grabbed his camera, and snapped 4 photos. Only 2 exposures came out clearly. The first reportedly shows a small head and neck, and the second shows a similar head in a diving position. The first photo became well known, and the second attracted little publicity because of its blurriness. For 60 years, the photo was considered evidence of the monster's existence, although skeptics dismissed it as driftwood, an elephant, or an otter or a bird. The photo scale was controversial. It is often shown cropped, making the creature seem large and the ripples like waves, while the uncropped shot shows the other end of the loch and the monster in the center. The ripples in the photo were found to fit the size and the pattern of small ripples, rather than large waves photographed up close. Analysis of the photograph indicated that the object was small, about 60 to 90 centimeters, 2 to 3 feet long. Since 1994, most agree that the surgeon's photo was an elaborate hoax. The creature was reportedly a toy submarine built by Christian Sperling. In December of 1954, sonar readings were taken by the fishing boat Rival III.
The creature!
Its crew noted a large object keeping pace with the vessel at a depth of 146 meters, approximately 479 feet. It was detected for 800 meters, 2,600 feet, before contact was lost and regained. Previous sonar attempts were inconclusive or negative. As the advent of camcorders and cameras became more a household item, so did videos of Nessie. However, nothing really came to be from the video evidence. Most were debunked as various forms of wildlife or bizarre wave formations. In 2001, another sonar image was revealed. Loch Ness boat captain Marcus Atkinson photographed a sonar image of a 1.5 meter wide unidentified object that seemed to follow his boat for about 2 minutes at a depth of 23 meters, and ruled out the possibility of a small fish or seal. In April 2012, a scientist from the National Oceanography Center said the image was a bloom of algae or zooplankton. The best evidence to come out of the Loch Ness is a DNA survey that was conducted in 2018. An international team consisting of researchers from the universities of Otago, Copenhagen, Hull, and the Highlands and Islands did a DNA survey of the lake in June 2018, looking for unusual species. The results were published in 2019, and no DNA of large fish such as sharks, sturgeons, and catfish could be found. No otter or seal DNA were obtained either, though there was a lot of eel DNA. The leader, Professor Neil Gemmell of the University of Otago, said that he could not rule out the possibility of eels of extreme size, though none were found, nor were any ever caught. The other possibility is that the large amount of eel DNA simply comes from many small eels. No evidence of any reptilian sequences were found. He added, "So I think we can be fairly sure that there is probably not a giant scaly reptile swimming around in the Loch Ness." Eels can grow to very large sizes, and there is a large eel that could fit some descriptions of modern Loch Ness Monster sightings, typically those of long, serpent-like creatures. The European conger is easily the largest eel in the world. On average, adults measure around 5 feet long and weigh nearly 160 pounds. One enormous specimen was measured at 10 feet long and weighed approximately 350 pounds. European congers can be found in the eastern Atlantic around Norway and Iceland, the Mediterranean, and the Black Sea. Conger eels are also found all around the west coast of Scotland. It is very possible that an offshoot of conger eel was isolated in the Loch Ness and bred to a large size as the apex predator of the loch, perhaps even causing some sightings of the Loch Ness Monster. If the Loch Ness Monster is a real creature, the likelihood of it being a large reptile, a plesiosaur, is a far stretch. With the sonar evidence and DNA evidence available, it seems that the Loch Ness Monster is a giant eel yet to be discovered by science.
Thank you for watching the video, and we hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the like button, maybe even your belly button. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. We also want to say thank you to our Dark Council Patreon members for supporting the show and the content we produce. If you want to join the Dark Council, head to patreon.com/Werewolf Radar.